Okay, so Prey. Um, it's only got 7.2. Have you seen the other Predator movies? Maybe a long
I've
time ago?
seen them all. I mean, I don't remember Alien versus Predator. I don't know if I watched that one all the way through.
It's hard to hate on a movie that's 40 years old when you're like, this isn't well made. It's like, dude, but it's 40 years old. Like an alien movie in the jungle against a team of armed forces.
Mhm.
Like that movie is the first of its kind.
Well, there's some fun trivia about the original. Did you know Jean-Claude Van Damme was originally in that movie? He was hired to play Predator. He's a martial arts expert, and then when he realized he was just going to be covered in the suit and not doing any type of...
You don't see his face.
Well, yeah, he was like, they're not going to see his face. He's not going to do anything that he's known for, so I think he left. So he originally started, and he realized, oh, this isn't featuring any of my skill set, and nobody's going to know who it is, so he left.
Whatever. He wouldn't have made a difference. It's not like they had the Predator doing, triple backflip, high kick, roundhouse kick.
I think that was the point. Is like he thought he was going to be doing cool stuff like that.
By the way, this artwork is deceiving. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
All right. Before I go into it, I want to get your initial thoughts on it. She's beautiful, by the way. I'll say that. Go ahead.
Yeah, for putting her in a corner. Looks good job, buddy.
You can say someone's beautiful. Come on.
Yeah, I thought doesn't matter how her acting skill or anything. Yeah, I'm just getting. So I watched the first half and I was super bored. I actually made a joke about it to a coworker I mentioned. I was like, "Oh, they're like, how'd your week go?" I'm like, "Well, I tried watching Prey last night. The directing was bad. The cinematography was bad. Student film with a big budget is what it was. Feel like it was shot digitally, and it looked like it was shot digitally. There was like no interesting lighting or scene setups or anything. And I'm like, what is like? This is cheesy. And then once it gets into the scene where it's like the fight scene with the trappers, the Predator, I was kind of thrown off. There's a couple things, at least watching, like just ignoring the first half, just forgetting that, just because I didn't like the first half at all. And I did like the second half, but there's some things in there that threw me off, and maybe it was one of those things that I missed. They had the fight scene in the campground with the brother, and he's a badass. He's kicking his ass, and he's like, doing great. And she's like, let's go. And he just stops, and he goes, this is where it ends for me. What?
Oh, he got injured. He was injured already.
That's what I didn't know. I missed.
He got stabbed or something.
See, I was like, did he get? Because he just kind of his tone changed, like he's gonna die. But I'm like, did I miss where he actually was like? So that's what I thought, but I didn't. I missed where that happened. So that threw me off. I was just kind of assuming I missed something. And then this other part that threw me off was the final fight and the use of the mask and that whole setup, the logic behind it.
I will agree. I'll agree with that. I was a little upset on the logic behind how that works. It's a targeting. Yeah.
But you would assume the Predator knew how that worked too, right? Like that he couldn't shoot and aim straight if he didn't have his mask on. The fact that she like lined him up to be in that exact spot with it aimed at that exact place, so he would shoot at that exact moment.
Right.
Was like, I get what they're trying to do with it, but the logic of trying to use the mask to do that, shooting it when he uses the mask to aim, why would he even bother aiming, using that targeting if he doesn't have? He had it set up in like rocks to like be aimed directly over the quicksand, which even when that scene when she was in the quicksand originally, I'm like, really quicksand? And what is it, Indiana Jones 4?
Right.
Fire gun at that exact time.
But bro, okay, I hear what you're saying, but in a movie like this, I know it's not a blockbuster movie because it's straight to Hulu, but that's the world we live in. Blockbuster movies now go straight to streaming services, so I'm gonna call it a blockbuster film, a blockbuster action film like this. That's
felt low budget to me.
But dude, that's how you can't expect the greatest of the greatest writing, directing, where it all ends so realistic.
Well, I looked up the director. I'm like, who is this director? And he did 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah,
So
that was a great movie.
Yeah, and so, and again, like the end of the movie is great. Like this scene they're showing now with the trappers, great. Like it all looks great. The first half of the movie looks terrible because it's all just flat or natural lighting. Nobody's really trying to act. There's no like she saw like a bear get mutilated by a predator, and she's like, I saw a monster. What you saw? Yeah, I saw a monster. I'm gonna find him. Like it just no attempt at depth in acting. I kind of wish they did, because I can get if they do low budget and you kind of have to play with that. You could have fun with it.
I think it was probably a low budget for sure.
Yeah, I think you can have more fun and not overt. You can get away with, and they did it like in the original Predator, where you don't have to overtly show the Predator. You can have a lot of tension by just kind of hinting at what it does. And I mean, the perfect example is like Jaws. Like the shark looks so bad they didn't want to put it in the movie at all. Like they intentionally hid like showing the shark.
It's the build up to revealing him.
So yeah, so like the fact they get in really early, like it's low budget, and they get in really early showing a lot of things where I don't think they needed to.
Right.
Where they could have still gotten the suspense and gotten the effect without showing it and giving it away, which in a way I thought made like even like the scene where the ship is kind of flying through the cloud and it looks like it's this ominous thing, and they see it and they go, oh, that's cool. Like I thought that was cool. Like you don't know what it is. Like we know what it is, but they don't know what it is.
Right.
And then
right,
later,
right.
and then 10 minutes later, they show just the ship flying in the sky.
Right.
They don't need to show that. Like
right.
We don't need to see that. They could have taken advantage of the fact they had a low budget and used it to get creative instead of just,
or used it to maybe get better film. Like, but I thought I thought this looks good. That was a cool scene. I thought the scene with the 3 warriors and her, where they're one by one getting killed because they're like, oh, we can fight whatever we go against. I thought that was a well-made scene.
Getting better because it starts getting to the action. It's not saying that just because it doesn't have action doesn't mean it's good, but like the tension buildup is just they're walking through the camp or the village, and there's just people kind of like even background actors just barely seem to be trying. And it was just one of the fun things about being limited with the budget and trying to get creative with that. I think they could have, but said they did a better job than some of the more recent Predator movies about just not overtly showing.
Oh, dude! Besides the first, I think it was the best one. Besides the first one, out of all the like. Predator versus Aliens, the Predators 2010, the Predator 2016, or whatever that was.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's not I would say it's not maybe not saying a lot considering how
those are. Yeah.
The only one that's kind of decent until maybe the end is Predators.
Dude, for a Hulu original, like.
Yeah, for a Hulu movie, yeah.
It's fucking great. Like I thought it was really really cool. I thought it was super fun. I thought like I wasn't expecting anything. I wasn't expecting good writing, even good acting. I thought the acting was good for what it was. I like the direction of the story. The story was incredibly simple, but I thought it was really good. I'm happy they didn't drag the dog in the whole story. I'm like, dude, is her dog gonna do something stupid where it's like she's gonna get captured because she tries to save the dog, or the dog's gonna be a nuisance, like it's gonna drag the movie along. Like that was one thing I was a little fearful of, and they didn't do anything like that with the dog, which I was happy with. I'm like, because for what it was, it's a freaking Predator movie. They didn't need too much detail of like the back end of the story of like, what is this tribe, what is their anyways, Prey, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10 because for what it is. It's just it's a Predator action film. It successfully created the story of a Native American against a Predator. That's it. That's all it is, right? Like it's not freaking Predators 2 out Los Angeles. Like this, they're trying to come up with all these different weird ways. It's like, dude, no, it's literally a Native American against a Predator. That's all it is. And go. And good luck and make a good film. Like, how good can you make that? Even if you made it the absolute best, like you're saying, all these little adjustments they could have made of maybe leading up to the Predator, you didn't have to show them as much, you didn't have to do this and that, be more creative. Even if they did that correctly, I still like it would never be a 10 out of 10 because it's a freaking Predator movie against, you know, a Native American warrior against a predator. How good can it be? It's never going to be an amazing movie. It's never going to be nominated for a Golden Globe or anything like that. And I think for what it was...
Well, I'd say, I mean, there were a lot of people, it wasn't a Predator movie, there were a lot of people who were pushing for the latest Mad Max movie nominated.
Yeah, but I think the difference...
I don't argue that much, but there are people who were trying to...
I think, well, it was nominated for some stuff. Not for, like, best film, but it was not... I think it was for, like, score.
Yeah, I mean, it was nominated for things, but I think people were trying to push for it.
That was a great freaking... I think the difference with that, it's not like a sci-fi alien movie. And I'm not saying an alien movie can never be like one of the great movies of our generation, but it's a Predator movie. I think the concept of Mad Max is post-apocalyptic, you know, how does humanity, what have we evolved into, and what have we become? And I think that, like, dude, look at The Road. The Road was nominated for a crap load of things. I know Mad Max is like an extreme version of The Road, but that's all The Road is. It's the exact same concept of a post-apocalyptic world of people gone crazy, people, you know, cannibals, people acting, you know, murderers, no one's safe, lack of resources. It's the same thing. And The Road was like, I don't know if it was not, I don't know if it was nominated as one of the best films of the year, but it was up for awards. I think the concepts are two different things, though. I get what you're saying, because like you look at the original Mad Max and it's kind of like it's very niche-y. It's very like, dude, it's Mel Gibson in a fast car with guns, you know, against bad guys in the desert or whatever. But I think the concept itself is it's easier to become taken a little more serious than an Alien Predator movie, if that makes sense. I think it's a little bit easier to take a little more serious. You know, natural lighting, dude, they're in the freaking mountains. Like, one pet peeve that I was afraid that didn't bother me the rest of the movie was her hatchet was like the freaking hammer of Thor. And I was like, and I was like, wait, what? Like, what it like, first of all, is this little twine that she made in the woods, like, why is it so elastic? why is it able to retract that little throwing axe so incredibly fast right back to her? From the way I see it, I thought it was as well as it could possibly be. I thought it was really cool. So what would you give that, just to sum it up here to close this out, what would you give Prey?
I'm gonna give a 6.
You give 6? Okay, you're not very forgiving. I mean, I guess I've seen you give things a whole lot lower. So 6 out of 10 in your eyes.